Big news, BYU is responding to a federal investigation of its LGBTQ students. This stemming back to the year 2020 when the school removed a section titled homosexual behavior, all from its honor code. Now, some students took the removal as permission to start being in same-sex relationships, but the school later clarified that that's still against the rules. Now, the Office of Civil Rights opened up an official investigation after students complained about being disciplined over something that they never signed. Now, BYU is responding to the investigation this morning, saying, quote, "We assert a religious exemption with respect to any application of Title IX relating to sexual orientation and general identity that is not consistent with the religious tenets of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints," end quote. And now to an ABC4 News exclusive. We're hearing from Carbon High School parents and drill team members who claim a student was forced to go to practice with COVID. Now, they tell us the coach allegedly threatened to keep her from participating in competitions if she didn't show up to practice. Now, this is she was supposed to be in quarantine after testing positive for the virus.
She was still kind of out of breath and coughing, and she said she was stuffed up and couldn't breathe.
You know, your child might be okay, and my child might be okay, and me and my husband and my family might be okay. But there's a chance that there's somebody's family member that's not going to be okay.
Now, that parent and team member you just heard from wanted to stay anonymous, but they did tell us that they sent several emails to the school demanding some answers. They claim the school did get back to them. They said they're going to look into it and make sure the team is following the COVID guidelines. Meanwhile, 24 schools in the Davis School District are now online or moving to remote learning. Now, this is the state is allowing school districts to decide what they want to do through next week. Now, the Davis School District tells ABC4 News that being in person is really the best way to teach students. But they also say they've seen more students attending class when it's held remotely.
We rely on our teachers to do a fantastic job, which they do. We rely on our students to continue to come to school, which they do. And we're grateful that parents have been patient during this situation.
Now, we're told districts will continue monitoring the COVID case counts and then, of course, adjust their plans accordingly. In a health alert, we're learning more about a deadly gas that could be lurking inside your home. Experts tell us 1 in every 3 Utah homes right now is testing positive for radon. Now, that's a naturally occurring radioactive gas that can cause lung cancer. We're told it comes from a chemical element found in some of Utah's soil, and it caused one Utah woman who was otherwise healthy to actually develop lung cancer.
And I said, well, I've never been around radon. I thought it was something that you were encountered in the workplace or something. Everyone should get their house tested, everyone in Utah.
Now, take a look at this. We're going to show you a map right here so you can see in which areas of Utah is more likely to have high levels of the gas. So yellow means low potential, which, as you can see, isn't even on our map here. But the majority of Utah is in orange, meaning there's a moderate risk. In some spots, as you see, are red, which is the highest risk of having dangerous levels of radon. So if you want to test your home, we're told it costs around $10. What a scary thing. Well, in other health news, it turns out that wine actually isn't good for your heart. Crazy, I know. The World Heart Federation says there hasn't been a reliable correlation between moderate alcohol consumption and lower risk of heart disease. Now, they say studies that show the link between the two are based purely on observational research, but experts say it is fine to drink it as long as it's in moderation. And this morning, we're learning that more Utah mothers are choosing to give birth at home rather than at a hospital. Now, during the first year of the pandemic, the CDC says out-of-hospital deliveries increased by 22%. And here in Utah, home births have increased by 20%. So the new report claims that many moms are concerned about getting COVID at the hospital, which is prompting them to look at other options. And meanwhile, public transportation in Utah is now aiming to go green. Utah's Transit Authority announcing that they're joining a new council that utilizes hydrogen fuel cells. Now, their goal is to use cleaner energy sources, which ultimately reduces carbon emissions that cause air pollution.